It's good to see you today, Kellyanne. First of all, with the changes, how much do you anticipate there being fear and loathing throughout the rest of the world about trying to make plans? It just seems like as soon as you get your head wrapped around one tariff and one deadline, things are changing.
Yeah, good morning, and thanks so much for having me. It is hard to understate or overstate how significant this action is in terms of transforming the entire global trading system and the way the U.S. trades with every country on earth for every product on earth. In terms of where the rates go from here, I do believe that this is really locking in a vision that the president has for how the United States should trade with different regions in the world moving forward. This, again, is incredibly transformative. I do think that this will give importers and investors a bit more certainty in terms of where the president may be going. We're seeing Southeast Asia coalesce around a 20% tariff. Our more significant major trading partners around a 15% tariff, and then some outliers going upwards of 30 or 40%. But this range between 10 and 20, 25% is really where I think the president wants all of this to land. And I think that's where importers are going to have to adjust in terms of making some of these investment and supply chain decisions.
How important is the actual rate that the companies or countries are assessed versus where they are in comparison with the countries that they most compete with?
Yeah, I think you're actually seeing quite a bit of convergence of the two of those. And so again, just taking the ASEAN region, you've got Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, all hovering around 19 to 20%. You do have a few outliers, like Switzerland sticks out pretty much like a sore thumb with that 39% compared to 15% for Liechtenstein, Iceland, and the European Union. So obviously something happened there, and perhaps that rate might come back down to earth, back down to that 15% mark once Switzerland and the U.S. work out whatever may have gone wrong. But I do think that you're seeing our trading partners split into these regional blocks by geography and by size of economy, which is exactly what the administration said was likely to be the outcome of these negotiations.
What about the duty-free treatment of small value shipments? What does that do in terms of leveling the playing field for the likes of Amazon against Temu or Shein? And why does that matter to the president?
Yeah, amongst the many actions that the president took this week, he took the step of stripping what's called de minimis treatment, so that tariff-free treatment for goods coming in at under $800 from every country in the world. Congress had actually passed this as part of the One Big Beautiful Bill, but that wasn't scheduled to take effect for another couple of years. So the president escalated that. He had already stripped out de minimis treatment for shipments from China. So that was the Shein and Temu problem that we had been hearing about. This just extends it to all of our other trading partners. So it is significant. China was the #1 source of those small value shipments. But I do think for small and medium-sized enterprises, this is going to be very impactful because they now have to go through that formal entry process and pay significant duties in many cases.
You said that, this just reorders global trade to a significant degree. Are you at all concerned about being seen as a reliable trading partner? Do you think that this has undermined the U.S. and its brand as a reliable trading partner?
Well, I think what's been interesting is that some of our major trading partners, like the European Union, Japan, South Korea, have agreed to these terms. And in many cases, we're happy to have deals, like we saw with Japan and South Korea. And then that summit over the weekend with President von der Leyen and President Trump, where the EU bought into what the president was saying, which is that these relationships have been unbalanced and we're taking steps to rebalance them. And I think ultimately what the president is trying to address is a democratic challenge, which is that 60% of Americans believe that trade has been better for other countries than it has been for the United States. And so he's answered that by saying, okay, let's break the global trading system and put it back together in this way, in a rebalanced way. But time will tell if this satisfies what his voters and what the base and how Americans feel their economy is working for them.